Hey, welcome in. Well, I guess if you're one of those people that wants to, do things with their cousin, well, there are people on the internet that are going to encourage you to just go ahead and do that. In fact, marry your cousin. I mean, here's something from popsci.com, popularscience.com. Go ahead, marry your cousin. It's not that bad for your future kids. Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, all you're talking about is your children, right? That you're going to be responsible for and take care of. It's not that bad for them. I mean, look here. Here's Einstein. He married his cousin. They didn't actually have any kids together, though. But I have a feeling that if they had, you wouldn't be hearing about, the great physicist Einstein Jr. You'd be hearing about the Einstein Jr. who got fired from the nut and bolt factory. I mean, look, you can see how happy they are. She's probably saying right there, thank God we didn't have kids. We're cousins, for God's sakes. But anyway, this is getting into the, apparently this is a new thing getting into the culture. All right, what else do we have here? We have consensual incest should be decriminalized, advocates say. So the advocates for incest want it to be decriminalized. I'm very libertarian on social issues, but I don't know, maybe there's some lines. And what do they say here? It says consensual incest advocates are rooting for an anonymous New York parent who wants to marry their own adult child. I am sorry. That is just disgusting. I mean, I don't want to be a prude. I'm not a prude, but that's just horrible. That is gross. I mean, here it's got a picture of, looks like a couple here. They might be, they would be an incestuous couple, I guess. You can't see their faces, so you can't see the weird way the teeth are sticking out or the foreheads. But you know what? You can use your imagination and just guess. But here we are. We're told, go ahead, marry your cousin. It's not that bad for your future kids. Well, I don't know about that. In fact, I've done a little bit of digging. Why cousin marriages can wreak genetic havoc on children. So maybe that's why you shouldn't just go ahead and marry your cousin. What do they have to say about that? Why cousin marriages can wreak genetic havoc on children. From the Genetic Literacy Project. And it says here, if you ever want to see some fascinating genetic disorders, I don't, all right? If you ever want to see some fascinating genetic disorders, you should all travel to Pakistan. Well, I wasn't going there anyway, so I'm going to still not go. I don't really want to see fascinating genetic disorders, but all right, we're going to have to actually look at some. So just hold your horses and we'll get there. So what does it say here? It says, according to various published studies, a variety of disorders have been linked to this breeding practice, including congenital heart disease, blood diseases such as hemophilia and thalassemia, deafness, cystic fibrosis, breast cancer, and depression. So what we're talking about here is consanguinal marriage, okay? So consanguine marriage, and that is marriage between two family members who are second cousins or closer. That qualifies as consanguineous marriage. And that, again, is linked to a variety of disorders, including congenital heart disease, blood diseases like hemophilia and thalassemia, deafness, cystic fibrosis, breast cancer, and depression. And it says here, consider the Habsburg family of Spain. Well, only if I have to, but I guess I have to for this video. The family possessed the gene for Mandibular Pragmatism, a genetic disorder that causes the lower jaw to outgrow the upper jaw, leading to a pronounced chin. Let's see, the condition became so pronounced in Charles II of Spain that he was not able to chew his own food. Along with this deformity, there were a number of other genetic, physical, and intellectual problems that he faced. What this tells us is that the condition existed within the genetic makeup of the Habsburg family and became continually worse through interbreeding. And let's take a look at them here. Yikes. So, if you want to have kids and you don't want your kids to look like that, maybe don't bang your cousin. Just a suggestion. That is not a looker. And doesn't look very happy either. And would you? Would you? No, you wouldn't. I mean, look, he looks sad. What's he thinking? He's thinking, God, Dad couldn't even just leave the house, for God's sakes. I mean, I can't even chew my own food. So when you see this picture, do you think to yourself, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and marry my cousin? No, you don't. You don't. Because you can see that it's just not a good move. But I have more examples. Jaw-dropping. I guess that's a pun. Centuries of inbreeding amongst European royals responsible for famous facial deformities seen in historical paintings. Let's just go through the Hall of Fame here. Yeah. Okay. So that happens. That's another example of the Habsburg jaw. This happens as well. This is another example of what happens. That's King Philip IV of Spain. There's this guy. There's this guy. He at least looks a little bit happier. Maybe he just had pudding. I don't know. That's Charles II of Spain, 1693. Yeah, we got more here. We got more. These people also don't look like geniuses. Okay, you might have noticed that. There's very little intelligence in the eyes of these people. I mean, you know, these portraitists would have done the best job they could. And that's the thing you got to remember, too. This is like the best version of them. He's trying to make them look good. But even like an artist can only go so far. Even a painter can only go so far. I mean, here we go. Again, this is the flattering version. And, you know, I can guarantee you put these people in a room with Forrest Gump and they're going to get along great. Here's another one. Actually, this one looks like the inbred Owen Wilson. Here we go. Here's another looker. And again, you can see in their faces, I mean, you would win at checkers every single time. Everybody watching this right now or listening to this would win a game of tic-tac-toe against any of these people every single time. It would be easy. So there you go. Maybe you shouldn't just go ahead and marry your cousin. You know, it's not that bad for your future kids. Well, I mean, any bad, right? Any bad you should want to avoid. I mean, what are you going to do? Say, well, my kids didn't turn out that bad, right? You know, they can't chew their own food and they get lost in the house, but, you know, they're not that bad. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. If you just like to listen, there's the podcast, Radio Baloney. It's on pretty much every platform. If you look for it, you will find it. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.